finger is the Hegu point, or the large intestine 4 point. So it's kind of between the wrist and the finger, and you're right on the bone. And if you press it, it might be sore. It's often sore. So it's really useful for helping your lung strength. So you can go in with your, get my angle here. You can go in with your thumb and massage that point. About a month ago or so, Kathy wasn't feeling very good and was coming down with something, who knows what. And these were really sore on her. And so I massaged these for a couple minutes each, and the chi started flowing. And that was one of the things I did working on her. So you can do that for yourself on both of them. So a lot of people are talking about that point for COVID-19. Do that anytime, sitting at the dinner table, walking to get the mail with your gloves on. And there's another point, large intestine 20, that's right next to the nostril, kind of below or in the crease actually. And that helps with your sinuses. So you massage it gently for a couple of minutes. If it's tender, that's a particular sign. These ones are not tender in me at all. This left one on my hand is a little tender. Maybe my lung needs a little extra something. Had to get all my lawn mowing in yesterday, my one sunny day when the grass isn't wet. So push to finish that. It's raining again. And then the third one is Calma Point. And it's stomach 36. And you can look these up online, these points. Stomach 36 is about 3 or 4 fingers below the bottom of the kneecap, just to the left of the bone. This is a tibia in the muscle there. So it's a general useful point for strengthening your physiology. You can do both at the same time. The name of this point, I learned a long time ago, means 3 miles more. So if you're walking and you're tired and you massage this point, you can walk 3 more miles. That's why it's called that. So these are a little bit sore on me, not a lot, but a little bit. So that's an indicator that massaging them will help move some energy. All right, next. And if anybody has any questions, oh, here it says you can press and hold your space bar and you can speak too. Does that work for somebody?
Testing, testing.
It worked. Thank you.
Still testing. Are you there?
I'm there. I hear you. Hear you, Max. I think that's Max. The lungs in Chinese medicine and the 5-element theory, 5-element practice are white. So it's really useful to work with your internal organs with feelingization, where you kinesthetically take in colors and feel it go into the organ and the cells of the organ or the structures of the organ. The lungs have 3 lobes on the right and 2 lobes on the left, meaning there's slight separations. They have the trachea coming down and separating into the bronchi, which brings the air down when you breathe, and they separate into a bunch of smaller different bronchi. They end up they end up in smaller and smaller sizes, and they connect to the alveoli where air meets with blood and oxygenates the blood. And so we want those alveoli and those ciliated, meaning the hairs on the cells, to be very healthy. So very simple meditation or practice you can do. You inhale through your nose to your lungs, white. So you see this like beautiful, shiny, bright, sparkly, healing white in front of you. You inhale, hold it there for just a minute, and then we're going to exhale anything that's not healthy, not pretty, not bright, out of the mouth. So we inhale the healing, the strengthening, the bright. Exhale the old, the sick, the pathogenic. And even though you're inhaling into your lungs, you're still using your diaphragm when you inhale to go down. Basic breathing. So inhaling white is tonifying, strengthening, filling. Exhaling the non-white, the dirty, the gray, the smoke, smog from the smoke from the fires the last few summers. Exhaling that out makes your lungs stronger. That's a purgation or a release. So you do that 10 or 20 times. Then you can do the second part. This is a little bit, not tricky, just a little bit more complex. You're going to inhale into your mouth the same white color. And your cheeks are going to get big like a squirrel. And then you're going to exhale and send that white into the lungs. So it looks like this. If you don't want to look funny, you don't have to do the big cheek thing. Like you're at a store or something, or, oh, no one see you, you have a mask on.
Can you explain that one more time?
So we have the white, sparkly, pure essence of the metal element in the Chinese 5-element theory. We use the nose to warm up and energize and spin the electrons of the air coming in as we bring in that color, which is our intent, our spirit. We fill the mouth with that white. When we exhale, we just close the cheeks together without opening the mouth, sending that white to fill the entire lungs or any place in the lungs, like the bronchi or the alveoli or even the pleura, which is a covering of the lung. Sometimes that gets stuck and there can be scar tissue between the lung and the pleura. Or the fluids. You can also send the white sparkly energy to the fluids of the lungs. The cells absorb it. What a virus does is it sneaks into a cell and then it tricks the cell into reproducing more of the virus instead of the cell reproducing its own DNA. So we want the cells to be smart and alive and alert, bright. And then to support the lungs and the breathing and all over energizing your body, we're going to breathe into the kidneys. And the classic color for kidneys is blue. You can pick a blue that you like, but it should be a bright, shiny, sparkly kind of blue, of some hue. More dark tends to be better. I like to think of like sunny, shiny Hawaiian water in the bay, the Hanama Bay. Seems like about the right feel for me. So we do the same technique. You inhale to your kidneys, which are in your back, the blue energy. You leave the blue energy in the kidneys. You exhale out the mouth, tiredness, fatigue, washed out colors, grayness, smokiness, darkness, anything that you don't want there. So you inhale, bring in the energy, and it's kind of pushing out the old, tired, sick energy, if there is any. If you know how to kidney breathe, it works better even. So you slightly tense your belly, very slightly. And when you inhale, you expand your lower back, mid back. And you exhale, you release that. So you expand and release. Great thing to do. These are great things to do when you're driving, especially the kidney breathing. As long as you can do it safely and don't lose consciousness when you're driving. Good. It kind of counters the goal of health through Qigong practices. So then we take in the sparkly blue to our mouth. We send it down to the kidneys. So part of what Qigong teaches is how to work with sending energy and intents, and also to receive energy and intents and feel it moving through your body to different places. Sickness, a lot of it is we get out of balance with our energy. We have way too much in our heart and we're all dramatic, or way too much sadness in our lungs, or we just can't stop talking. There's just so much energy in our throat, or so much thinking going on, and da 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 da, and it just creates this energetic imbalance. And so learning how to redirect gently, redirect that flow to different parts of your body where it's stuck or blocked, and especially learning how to root it and ground it into the earth is part of our training. So it's called organ energy breathing, or organ color breathing. There's 5 of them. You can also do the spleen, the liver, and the heart. And you can also do those colors to other organs that are associated with those if you want to. But it seems like the most important ones, at least right now, are the lungs and the kidneys. So people who are getting really sick, their kidneys are failing as well as their lungs. And this also applies to any other disease situation, whether it comes from excessive partying, not enough sleep, being in the wind for too long, depression from just not moving, eating something that doesn't agree with you, another cold or flu or measles or whatever. So any strengthening of our immune system makes it less likely that those things will take a hold inside of us. And the more superficial they stay, the quicker and more easily we can get them out of us so they don't go in and try to make a home, like an Airbnb guest that's hearing, they're stuck in people's homes because they can't go anywhere. Any questions about organ color breathing for the lungs and the kidneys. So you can do that 2-3 times a day. Spend a few minutes doing it. You can do it on a walk. You can go on for a walk. You could do it in the car. You could do it falling asleep or waking up. Really simple to do. Doing all 5 of them is also a fine thing to do. Okay, are we ready to go to the main event?
Robert,
Yes.
with the kidney breathing, you talked about doing it through the nose, and then the second part was to do it through the inhale through the mouth. Was that?
No, but inhales are all through the nose. When the air goes into the nostrils, it hits the turbinates, which spins the air, creating more electromagnetic energy. It also warms going through the nostrils and into the throat. It warms the air, so it's, or cools it. So it's really hot out. So it's a proper temperature when it gets to your lungs. Breathing in your mouth skips that. And also breathing in through your nose, there's there's white blood cells, and there's nasal fluid and things, and then there are tonsils that help break down pathogens. Breathing in and out of your mouth, being a mouth breather with the inhale, you don't have all those other good things. Breathing through the nose also stimulates the pineal gland, or the pituitary gland, and the hypothalamus. So a lot of good stuff to do that. It also helps balance the brain because you have the 2 sides of your nostrils. So it balances your bilateral cortex. So your brain works better and your nervous system works better. Breathing out of your mouth is a great way to release something you don't want. Great way to release tension, stress, sickness, excess of anything. So I do that all the time. If I feel like I'm gathering something that's making me feel tired, feel funny, feel sick, breathe out my mouth. But breathing in and out of your nose strengthens your organs, strengthens your internal organs. So when you inhale and exhale with your mouth still closed, you're breathing out your mouth. But the energy that you inhale with your nose tends to stay in the organs. So in the Chinese medicine, martial arts, Qigong theory of health, more important than fitness with our muscles and our ligaments and stuff is fitness with our internal organs. If our internal organs are working well, it's more likely that the rest of us will be working well, because that's where things happen. Lots and lots of things happen in the internal organs. All right. We're going to do a 4-set movement that I call Qigong for preventing colds and flu, just because it's a nice long name. And it comes from the Hunyan Qigong system, which is, the basic set is 18 movements, I think. No, it's 12. It's 12 movements. And then there's a couple, about 2 or 3 extra movements that some people do. So we'll call it 15 movements. I found that if I feel like I'm coming down with something and I know I need to do something active to move that sickness out of me before it makes a home, I don't have a lot of capacity for some complex form or set or meditation. I need simple. I need something I could just pick up right now and do. So I've been teaching this for 3-4 years or so. I found it super effective for me if I'm getting run down or something and I wake up the next morning and I'm just dragging today. And at some point it hits the brain. It's like, oh, wait a minute. This is not normal. I'm waking up, or normal. I shouldn't have had that cheese last night or whatever. I think I might be coming down with something, and I don't want to come down with something. That's right when you stop. As soon as you recognize you might be coming down with something that could put you in bed for a week or have a cold for a week or whatever. As soon as you recognize it, you do these movements. It takes about 10 minutes. Then you do them again an hour and a half or 2 hours or another hour. Try to do them 4 or 5 times over the day. Most of the time, you'll start to feel better by the afternoon, if not sooner. If you just start getting sick, then it's time to do a different strategy. Like, oh, I just need to be in bed, or something's coming up wrong fast. But most of the time you can clear it out because your body has the complete capability for natural healing. And there are healing sounds too. We'll do these on another time, another session, which will probably be same time next Saturday. I think that makes sense. And possibly another time, like maybe a Tuesday night if people want that. I was thinking maybe Tuesday at 6. But the federal government's paying me $1,200 to do this, so I think get my money's worth. Give you my money's worth. So the 4 exercises move the chi through the meridians, especially opening the torso and the abdomen, and with a special focus on the lungs and the kidneys. The first one is for the triple burners, which are basically the chest, the upper abdomen, and the lower abdomen. And it's for clearing out and balancing the Chinese energetic idea of how we digest energy through air and food and elimination. Air, food, elimination, as well as liquids and also emotions and experiences. When you're feeling crummy, you will notice doing this, what I'm going to show you in a minute, feels crummy. It's hard to pay attention. You feel kind of icky the first time through, maybe the second, maybe the third time through. And then it's 2 o'clock and you do it the 4th time. Nice and smooth. So you'll notice it. And the second exercise is a whole body movement exercise where you bend down and you follow the yin meridians of your body, the yin parts of your body up as you inhale, and then as you exhale, you follow the harder in the back parts of your body and back of the legs down. And so it balances yin and yang flow between heaven and earth through your body. So very useful. Also really opens the lungs. And I'll show you that. The third one is the most complicated one. We're rolling a ball through our torso. And we go both ways when we do that. We go one way, then we go the other way. So that balances the abdomen and the chest. And then the fourth one and the last one, for the basic set, is another vertical movement, but it's to the sides and then to the insides. And that's all. If you just do those, you can do other ones as well. There's a lot of other Qigong you could do. The triple burner, basically the upper burner is clavicle to diaphragm or xiphoid, so the chest. The middle burner, that's the upper burner. The middle burner is to xiphoid to belly button, and so the whole middle abdomen or upper abdomen. And the lower burner is belly button to pubic bone, basically, in general. And we'll just focus on each of those 3. And what you do is you gather your arms in like this and then open. So I think of it like cupboard doors two cupboard doors come together. And then you can open those two doors. They're like right here, like Superman in his shirt. When you open, your fingers are a little bit curved. And then you open your fingers at the end to release. What you're doing is releasing pathogens, tiredness, sickness, dark energy, weird colors, discomfort, whatever it is, you release with an exhale. You can exhale out of your nose. And for more powerful releasing, you can exhale out of your mouth. You expand like you have a band of gold between your hands. And that gold comes in, kind of like we did white before, but now we're doing gold for the whole chest. That gold comes into the chest. And then you release. The gold stays, even though you still have a band, if you can think of all this at once. But you're releasing stuff, the cobwebs, the dust, you know, the gray energy. You do about 18 of those. You go down to the middle burner. And you clear out the middle burner. So your mind is there and your hands are at that level. And when I come in, I like to just sink and do a gentle pelvic tilt. And then I push up and stand up a little bit just to push it out of me. And then kind of gather the energy and gather my intent and then open the fingers. These feel great on me right now. So it's good. Really smooth, really easy to focus. You come back in, you go down, you do the lower burner, which is essentially the elimination powers of your body. First you take in, then you separate the useful from the not useful, and you eliminate the useful. That's the 3 burners. Inhale as you come in, exhale as you go out. Okay, we're going to close that. And we do this to close. Centering process called Qigong or Shogung. Usually you just do one in between. And you center in the lower dantian. Boom. Any questions about the opening and closing the triple burners?
You're doing one close like between each burner and then one at the end? No, you're not doing that. You're just moving down after each burner.
Yeah, you just do one after the 3 burners. You could do one, you could do a close after each one. You could do a close anytime you felt like doing it. I need to gather myself a little more. Next, whole body meridian breathing or yin and yang breathing. What I'm going to do, oh yeah, there we are, is if you can't bend all the way down, don't, just use your intention. It hurts to bend. Did too much gardening or something. You could also do it seated, and that might be more gentle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bend all the way down so that my hands turn outward to face the inner parts of my legs. And I'm going to come up the inner parts of my legs, clearing the meridians. Then bring my arms all the way up above my head and down again. And then I'm coming down the outside of my legs. When I get down to the bottom of the feet, my hands come around to the front, back to the insides, and then they come up. Also good for your spine, a little spinal stretch. But don't overdo it if it's you're a little tense or tight or something. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, coming up. If you need to do more than one inhale, you can inhale, exhale, come up, and then inhale again. If you can do it all in one, that's really good. So this really opens the lungs to do this. And when you go down, it opens the kidneys. Your focus is where your hands are. As you're inhaling, up the inside of the leg, you're focusing on the inside of the leg, where your hand is, with your mind, with your intent. And as you come up the torso, your focus is there. And then as you come up the arm, as the arm raises, your focus is following that energy all the way to the fingertips. You follow, this is the yin inhale, yin meridians. And then the energy in your mind is going to go over the top of your fingertips, your fingernails, and go down the back when you exhale. This is the yang part of your body. Yin, yang, yin, yang. It balances your chi flows, your fascia, your joints, your alignment, your breath. I like to start with a nice big scoop. Inhale. Now my mind's at the top of my fingers. It goes over the top of my fingers, and my mind and the chi flow follows the back of my arms, upper arms, back of my head as well. It goes from the front of my head to the back of my head, down my neck, down my back, down my back of my legs and side of my legs. Come around, inhale, front, exhale, down the back. There are plenty of diagrams of what's the yin parts of the body and the yang parts of the body. If you can look those up, generally accepted. So this gets all of your 12 pairs of your major meridians flowing really nicely, as well as the microcosmic orbit. Back of the microcosmic orbit. No, that's the front of the microcosmic orbit. Really good flow going. And here's how you finish. Do a full yin, inhale, exhale, and then come up the legs, Dantian. You do a close. Any questions?
Hi, Robert. I've had a question on this one for a long time about what you just mentioned, which was the relationship with the microcosmic orbit, because going up the yin and down the yang side is actually like opposite the direction of the flow of the microcosmic orbit, right?
Yes.
So how, I've always had trouble how to hold both of those together.
The microcosmic orbit is made of two extraordinary vessels. The extraordinary vessels are like lakes. They can move any direction. The microcosmic regular meridians are like rivers. They can only go one direction. And so working on the microcosmic orbit while you're doing the regular meridians can be difficult to do, to mentally hold. You don't have to mentally hold it, it's still happening when you're doing that movement. When you do that sort of movement like a dolphin in the sea, that's happening. I just happen to mention it for people who want to already know this and want a little bit more. The main focus is on the 12 pairs of meridians going up and down. Does that make sense, Georgia? You need more.
I mean, what I got from that was basically, just because I know how much you've always stressed the microcosmic orbit only flowing in one direction, right?
Yes.
And since it's opposite that one, like sometimes, since it's opposite the direction of the flow of the meridians, like I just get this kind of cognitive dissonance when I'm practicing of how to hold, just I'm aware that that's going on. So
Yeah,
but what I got from what you just said was basically, like, I think what would work for my mind is that if I just kind of hold space, like you said, more like the lake, for the microcosmic orbit to just do its thing while I do the meridians.
I would just say practice them separately.
Okay, fair.
There are innumerable flows in the body. So it could go on forever. It's like innumerable stars in the sky. It go on forever. There's so many different things you can work on. If you work on one set of something and they get better, like say the 12 pairs of meridians, everything else gets a little better. They support all the other functions, including the other flows in the body. Yeah, one of these classes, maybe we'll really go into the microcosmic orbit too, and just focus on that. That would be a really good thing to do. So that's the second one. The third one is rolling the ball with both hands. This one I changed a little bit from how I learned it. Learned just to roll the ball. You have this ball and more like bicycling and rolling the ball. Your basic movement is that bicycle. And also the other way. How to work it for doing the colds and flu and immunity strengthening and is you imagine there's this loop that comes out of the top of your chest into your lower abdomen, like a tube of energy flow. Goes into the center of your body and then up, right? Center line at the level of the mid clavicle. So it's a D shape. It can go either way. It's like a neon light. And I like kind of a gold energy. Gold has a lot of universal applications for health and wealth. And so what you do is you follow that D with your arm For women, your hand might be a little more, not quite as close to the chest, but even me, I mean, 4 inches or something. You do 2 at a time, then you really start to move from your waist, from your gate of life. If that's too much to think about, you're just learning this, don't think about that. I like to start coming into the chest, down through the torso, and out the abdomen. Then, after, say, 18 repetitions, 20, 50, however many you want, you go the other way. So you're coming along, you're just going to go Go the other way. If you turn from your gate of life, you're also energizing your kidney chi, your healthy kidney chi. If you want to focus also, besides on the right D and the left D, on your hands, you can feel your hands starting to energize and your fingers and starting to balance your arms. Chi flow from your hands. Don't think too much about the breathing on this. Just find a comfortable breathing for it. Then I stop, and then it comes down to meet. So I start bringing into the chest. I'm inside my body, which connects lung and heart to the digestive organs. So when there's a problem, those are not very well communicating. So I start this way, then I'll go the other way. So now come into the abdomen, up through the torso, out the chest. When I'm ready to finish, one of them stops, doesn't really matter which one. The other one joins, I'm at the dantian. Gather chi, sink chi, root chi in the dantian. So that's rolling the ball with both hands. Next one, sun and moon rotating technique. This is a little simpler, but you also have these Ds. The basic motion is the hands come up or down the torso and then outside the body and then up or down the torso. You do this a bunch of times and you just start feeling better. You start getting clear. The blood vessels relax. The lymph starts moving at a greater rate. Pathogens start getting eaten up about 25% more because your lymph flow is better. And that goes on and on until the next time you do it, and then you push the merry-go-round again. Each time you do it, it's like pushing the merry-go-round to keep it going fast.
Nice.
Yes? I heard a question.
I just think that's a nice image. The
Thank
marigold.
you. So see how I'm kind of opening my chest like Charles Atlas or something, like strongman? Like I'm real proud. Well, this movement opens the back, the kidneys. Then it opens the top of the chest. And that opens the lung 1 and lung 2 point, as well as the stomach 13 point, very important in Wild Goose Qigong. They use it all the time. Right underneath the top of right underneath the bottom, the center of the clavicle, collarbone. Open, go outside the body, go inside the body. And again, you're internal. You're coming out and in, halfway in, this D-shaped tube. Then you go the other way. Or the number of reps you decide to do. Kathy and I were doing this every day for a couple weeks when she wasn't feeling very well. And we were reading all the newspaper accounts, online accounts about what's going on. It's really working on our immunity. This also opens the axillary lymph nodes right there. And the inguinal lymph nodes as you pelvic tilt. Pumps your lymph, pumps your fluid, clears your cells. And you go that nice, slow, rhythmic, regular speed, regular slowness. And when you're ready to finish, you stop the dantian. And you do 3 closes because you finished your set. If you want to do more, you can do more. You can do other Qigong, you know. But if you want to, you got to get to something and you come back to it in an hour or two. You can do more than 3 closes too. Okay, we'll do a review in a minute, but are there any questions at this point?
Robert, this is John.
Hi, John.
I notice one hand is over the other on the abdomen.
Doesn't matter which one.
Thank you.
There's a longer answer, but basically it doesn't matter.
Question from Max.
Hey, Max?
The breathing on a percentage scale, how full should the breaths be?
70%. Not completely full, but active enough that you're moving your diaphragm and opening your lungs and massaging your lower abdominal organs. And yeah, about 70%. It's always usually a good rule.
Good, thank you.
Welcome.
Robert,
Yes.
this is Emily. On the closes, how high up do your hands go?
To the ends of my fingers? About like that. So if that's a full stretch, if I want to do a full stretch, I could, but it also is like 70%. Like I'm holding a big ball. You come above my hand, my head, and they're not all the way atop, all the way directly above it when I come down. I mean, I could. It's fine Qigong, but it's like they're already coming down as they reach the top of my head. And my focus is dantian anyway. You noticed you're not feeling quite right and you've really been overworking or you've been traveling or something, and you, I'll go do the colds and flu Qigong right now. So the first one is for clearing. It's triple burners. Inhale the gold, exhale the old. Open the fingers, softly close, not close, but softly bend the fingers. Relax shoulders, heavy elbows, the back, open the front. Bring in the hands one last time. Draw the hands down to the middle burner. Double inhale. Open. Release. Through the nose or the mouth. Clearing sickness before it has a chance to make itself at home. Helping the health of your internal organs. One more. Close the cupboard doors. In the middle burner, take a big inhale. Open. Lower burner. There's a gold energy that comes in to support. And an old energy leaves to create more space. So a nice little back stretch with pelvic tilt. We're going to do one more and close the door. Connect to the earth, connect to nature, connect to the stars, root all that energy, all your organ energy into your lower dantian. Now we'll clear and balance the meridians. Start with a scoop, and then we bend over. Hands go to the inside of the thighs, front of the torso, the inside of the arms, inside of the hands, over the top of the hands, back of the arms, back of the head, whole back, back of the legs, and the side of the legs. Hands are inside the legs. Inhale up. Following with your mind, your intent, your awareness. Exhale down. Helping optimize the function of the flows in your body. Qi, blood, fluids, connective tissue, hormones, nerves, everything. Remembering to modify if your body doesn't quite like a movement. Do it a little more gently or not quite as far. Okay, coming up. Inhale. Down the last time. Exhale. And come up to the lower dantian. The elixir field in the center of your body. Now we roll the ball. Two D shapes. If it's tough to think about that at once, you could just do one side at a time and learn how to do that movement with each arm separate. How it becomes one then the other, and then you can do both together. And then when you got that down, you can stabilize your pelvis and legs and move forward by turning your waist, turning your lower back from your lower back muscles. At some point, you decide you're ready to go the other direction. Maybe you find you're going a little fast, you can just slow it down a little bit. Relaxed. Open joints, relaxed shoulders, relaxed elbows, relaxed hands. Then you're ready to finish. Dantian, Qigong, pelvic tilt, absorb Qi into the lower Dantian. Many people think of the lower Dantian as like a glowing sun or a golden ball. And lastly, sun and moon rotating technique. What that means is you can have a little moon in your left hand and a little sun in your right hand, or vice versa. I know I don't do it that way anymore. I do the D's. Coming into the side of the body, up the middle of each side, out each side. And I really open my chest and move with my shoulder blades. Shoulder blade movement to move your arms. Not a little too fast, so I'm slowing. Pelvic tilt, kidney charge. Smile at my lungs. Smile at my kidneys. Reverse. And when I'm ready to finish, after 100 reps, 3 or more closes. Usually just 3. Either one on top, or you can do thumb in the palm, index finger over Hegu, large intestine 4, index finger in the palm. See that? Thumb on Hegu, the yin yang symbol. Centering thing.
Robert, I have a question. If
Yes.
you do Qigong every day, is it wisdom to do these 4 exercises and incorporate them into your daily pattern?
Yeah, it's very wise. You want to have these memorized so that you can pull them out when you need them.
So it's good to do them every day, not just when you need them.
Do them every day until you know them really well, and then do them when you feel like doing them. So if you know them really, so you do the 100-day practice, 100 days in a row, or do it 1,000 times in a year or something. Do it a bunch of times. So when you're not thinking and you're fuzzy-headed and you're just, your usual practice maybe is too much physically or just too many things to do, then you just pull this little sweet little set out. There are other things you can do as well, and I'm gonna have some more classes on that. But this is kind of my basic ground level thing I found to do. And if you feel like it, you do these 4 exercises. You can do more. You can do a microcosmic orbit thing. You can do the whole Hunyan set. You're gathering chi from the sides, or you're polishing the stone. Do some joint movements. Oh, just so many different things. Some gentle yoga, stretches, Taoist yoga. But you want to have these in your back pocket for when you need them. And in terms of a regular practice, congratulations. So happy to hear about that. Daily practice, or at least almost daily, is the way to go for a lot of reasons. One of them is we really want to, the older we get, we really want to know this stuff well so it can help with our health and our longevity. And the later we start, the more we got to catch up, up to a point. So one of the things I've been doing in this period is relearning some Qigong that I had to put aside for a while, for 5 or 10 years. Didn't have time for it, so that's been fun. I pulled out another one this morning. I was getting ready for this class. I pulled out another set, the Wu Ji set. 18 stretching movements I haven't done in 10 years. It's like, oh, I want to do that. And I'm a Qigong nerd, so. Any other questions about the set?
Thanks for doing it.
Yes,
Thank you for gathering.
Very, very helpful. Very.
good. I hope everybody got a lot out of it, and I encourage you to practice this immediately as soon as you get off. That's the best time, and then do it again later today and a couple times tomorrow, and at least once a day after that.